I hate to even say this, but it has to be said. In this video, I'm going to trap a coon and a possum. And I'm going to kill the coon and the possum. And I'm going to eat the coon and the possum. If that offends you, get over it. If you don't want to see that, don't watch it. Coons and possums are overrunning America. They didn't used to be this way. There was a time back in the late 70s when a coon hide here in Arkansas was worth $35. That's a lot of money in late 70 money. A possum was worth $6, $7, and $8 depending on the size. And that fur market is what kept our possums and coons in check because they are destructive varmints. But when people got mad at the fur industry and decided that furs were bad, then guess what happens? We got overrun with giant rats. You know them as a possum. We got overrun with raccoons getting into stuff and being destructive and tearing up millions and millions of dollars worth of merchandise and buildings every year. They get up in your attics, they tear up your insulation, they chew up wiring, they get into trash, they get into dog food. They have to be managed. All right, that's what this video is. We're managing the ones here. I'm trapping these about 75 yards behind my house. At night, I have in one picture 8 raccoons in one picture. That's too many. So I'm going to thin them out. In this video, I'm going to show you how. Hey, it's the preacher. I'm out here right behind my house at my little corn pile where I feed deer. Well, I've been feeding a lot of coons too, and I'm tired of feeding coons. So I want to do a video or two on trapping coons at a corn pile. And we're going to use regular old cage traps. You've seen these in hardware stores. And you can get them at Tractor Supply or something like that. I've got them 2 or 3 different places. But I've got a couple of them. I want to try to catch a couple of coons because we got a barbecue coming up. And I want to eventually do a video on how to barbecue coons. So anyways, come along. I'm going to show you how to trap coons. Now, I know what you're thinking. You don't look like a coon trapper. You probably envisioning somebody like this. But I'm a coon trapper. And this is what I look like when I'm laying around the house on a rainy day. So let's get started. Okay, let me show you how this works and what my plans are. My corn's right behind you in the camera. And I don't want to set my feeder right in my corn because my deer are probably going to show up and eat this evening. So I want to set it away from the corn. The coons are coming in and eating the corn, but if I'm within 8 or 10 yards of them or on a heavily used trail, they will have no trouble finding this bait. So let me show you how to set this trap. Both of these are a little different, but they all work off the premise of a long rod or a cable or some kind of latch going down to a foot pedal. So with the foot pedal being here, you want your bait here. And you don't want it so close to the back that they can reach through and get it. So I just put it right in the middle, directly in the middle from the pan to here. And open it up. Now if you're on a trail, you might set it there, but these are open woods here, so it don't really matter which way it's facing. I have put them side by side before, but I think it's better if you put one maybe over there, one over here, and just keep them in the area. They're coming because they've been eating my corn every night, but when they get here, they're going to like my bait better than corn. Now let's talk bait. Sure, you could take a handful of corn and throw in here, but they could eat corn out there and not have to walk in this square hole. They don't really want to walk in the square hole. They like to be out in the open like me. So in order to get them to go in the square hole and step on the pan, I'm going to put some food in here that's better and more attractive to them than that pile of corn. Cat food works great, but it also catches cats. And if you got cats in the area, I wouldn't use cat food. Cat food works great, but it also catches skunks. If you got skunks in the area, I wouldn't mess with that. So I try to use a plant-based food, but with a better smell. Now I use jelly most of the time. Prefer grape. Didn't have any, so I use strawberry in a pinch. And peanut butter works good because peanut butter will stick to the wires and get in there. But see, I equate coons to being on about the level of a, I don't know, maybe a 4-year-old. And one thing I know about 4-year-olds, almost all of them like peanut butter and jelly. So what I'm going to make is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I can't think of a coon in the country that wouldn't eat a peanut butter and daggone jelly sandwich. Can you? I ain't had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in probably 5 years. This one's looking pretty good. This is my Jif. Now, I only use the best ingredients. And I know the commercial says choosy moms choose Jif, so choosy trappers are probably going to choose it too. So I'm going to put a little Jif on there. Just like that. And we fold that in half. There's your nice, neat package. They look in there. They see that. That's going to look pretty good, but they may say, you know, somebody threw that down because it wasn't any good. So to make it more appealing, what I do is I take a bite out of it. Oh, sorry, I'm on a no-carb diet. Now, it looks good. We've got us a half a peanut butter sandwich. That'll bait this trap here. Let's make another one real quick. I sound like a muzzleloader. Muzzleloader season ended 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Like I said, grape is better. Strawberry work in a pinch. Strawberry, peanut butter, fold it in half. Well, I tell you what. Let's go all out. I know a lot of kids, they don't like to eat the crust. So let's just, let's peel the crust off there. There. Now see? Ugh. That right there got Coon written all over it. Now the other thing you might catch with peanut butter and jelly is a possum. Or you might catch somebody's 3-year-old. They may crawl in there. If you catch a 3-year-old, try to return them to the ride home. But even if you catch a possum, that's okay. Possums eat just as good as coons. So we're okay with that. That's not going to hurt us. We just don't want to, catch the neighbor's cat. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't say it, but I wouldn't mind catching a neighbor's cat. I'm not going to say what I would do to the cat. I'm not going to say anything like that. Alright, here's one thing we can all agree on. We're using peanut butter and jelly because we don't want to catch a skunk. And I've never caught skunks on peanut butter and jelly, but I have caught them on cat food. And matter of fact, if I was trapping skunks, that's what I'd use. Because a skunk is a cat, if you don't believe me. Because a skunk is a cat. And if you don't believe me, watch that cartoon with the skunk in it. He's always falling in love with a cat. And that's all the proof I need to tell you that a skunk and a cat are the same thing. You see where that sandwich is in relation to the sides of the trap? That's exactly where you want it. Now, okay, let's go over a couple things about the way the trap is set. The main thing is that the trap is solid. Animals don't want to walk on something that's tilting back and forth. So what I've done is I've laid this log across it, and that presses the trap down in the leaves so that it's solid. I have put that back there in the back. I've made sure there's nothing around the outside of the pedal right over there. You see that contraption? You don't want something underneath that that's going to hinder it from going down or hanging up. And you don't want them walking around it. So, you know, it's kind of out of the way. I've placed a piece of crust right here. I'll bring you back here tomorrow, maybe late tonight. We'll come back here and check it again. I'll turn the camera back on when we catch something or when they're empty tomorrow. Look at there. Look like we're gonna have an old grinner. Yep.
Let's catch him and tame him.
That's a grinner. We'll dispatch him real quick like. Well, it's a good thing we came and checked the traps. It's 10:30 and we was about to go to bed, and I thought, you know, we better run out there and check them. This trap had a big old possum in it. Well, not big. He's a medium possum. He's just right eating size, so that's okay. When life gives you possums, go get sweet potatoes. We'll cook him, and the night's still young, and there was eyeballs on the corn when I walked up here, so I think those coons went up a tree. Let's see what we got in there today. That's a big coon right there. It's a good sized coon. Oh, yeah. Messed that up. There you go. Get it over here where you can see him. You can tell that's a pretty good sized coon. Wore my trapper's hat. I'll get this coon dispatched and get him skint. I didn't want y'all thinking because I just wear Crocs and sweatpants and stuff like that that I'm not a real trapper. So hopefully lend a little credibility. Seeing a coon in a trap the next day. I'll get him dispatched and we're going to barbecue this coon. And I don't know if we'll feed it to the church, but we'll make it available to them and see if they want to try it. So anyways, I'll do a video on how to cook and barbecue a coon. That'll be our next video. Got a big boar coon. Pretty good size one. Not quite a jumbo, but definitely an extra large. Well, this is where we're going to end the trapping video. I didn't show you how I skin them. Of course, I wasn't skinning them to save the pelts. I was skinning them to cook. So we're going to end the trapping video here. Obviously our little medium possum, and that is about a medium-sized possum. This is a large coon, just to give you size for Arkansas. I know you live up in Canada, you know, they're waist high. I get that, whatever. Here in Arkansas, this would be a large coon. This would be a medium-sized possum. It's earlier in the year. They don't have as much fat on them, but the fat, I mean, I've heard of people making coon fat gravy, but I don't know. I'm just going to venture into this coon thing one bite at a time. So I've got them cleaned. I haven't washed them up yet. I left the feed on them so you could identify this is a coon, this is a possum. And if you're going to trap these and give the meat away, a lot of times they want you to leave a foot on them, because there's been a lot of people around here try to pass off a cat as coon or cat as possum. So you leave a foot on them, whoever gets them, they know exactly what they're getting. So thank y'all for watching the trapping video. If you got coons on your corn pile, get you a box trap and get rid of them.